Hello everyone, welcome to session 82 of Selenium training. In today's session, I am going to explain about a third-party tool known as AutoIT. So AutoIT is not part of Selenium, guys. It's a third-party tool which we require for letting Selenium do which it cannot. So why we need AutoIT, guys? Why we actually need AutoIT? I'm going to explain both in a theoretical and practical way. So first of all, guys, Selenium is not capable enough to handle the window-based or non-HTML based applications. Okay, so Selenium, what can Selenium automate? Which type of applications that Selenium can automate? Selenium can only automate web applications. Okay, Selenium can only automate web applications. Whereas coming to Selenium can automate web applications. Whereas coming to desktop applications or window applications, anything is fine. Desktop applications, you can call them desktop applications or Windows applications. Selenium will not be able to automate this kind of applications. So only web applications can be automated, whereas desktop and window applications cannot be automated by Selenium. Fine. So what are the examples for web applications? Anything you browse on the web browsers, guys. Okay, anything you open in the browsers, applications that you open in the browsers like Amazon.in. Amazon.in you generally open in the browsers, right? MSN.com. Okay, news website, like that. All the websites that can be opened in the browsers or web applications can be automated by Selenium, whereas desktop applications like Skype. Skype you have installed with the help of exe file, right? So when you install Skype using the exe file of Skype, it will get added to your machine. Eclipse, whatever I am demonstrating from the day one, Eclipse IDE is also a desktop application only. This application doesn't run on the browsers. So such kind of applications cannot be automated by Selenium. It's not only the applications, guys. It's not only the applications. Sometimes what happens is, while you are using web applications, there may be some functionalities which will, okay, temporarily have the functionality of the desktop applications. So even such kind of scenarios cannot be automated by Selenium. Okay, I will explain that. I will explain what I am saying. Okay, for now understand that Selenium can only automate web applications, whereas it cannot automate the desktop or Windows applications like Skype or Eclipse. Fine. Now, so as Selenium is not capable enough for automating window-based applications, we have to use AutoIT tool. Okay. So if you still want Selenium to automate this desktop or window-based applications, then you have to use a third-party tool. Okay, Selenium cannot directly automate these applications. So we have to use a tool known as AutoIT. Okay, so you have to use something like this, Selenium plus AutoIT. You have to extend the Selenium with AutoIT. Then only you will be able to automate the desktop or window-based applications, guys. Okay, without AutoIT, Selenium cannot automate the desktop or window-based applications. Fine. I'm going to demonstrate one program, guys. You will understand how Selenium is not capable enough to automate the window-based applications. I'm going to demonstrate that. Open Eclipse IDE. We'll create a new project in Eclipse IDE now and try to automate some functionality which belongs to the window-based applications. We'll let the Eclipse IDE launch. Meanwhile, open browser. Oh, go to this omaya.blogspot.com. Yes, this is a blog. Here, this is a web application or not? This is a web application. It's not a desktop application. This because this particular application is running in the browsers. So this application is nothing but a web application only. Scroll down. After going to this application, click on this choose file button. When you click on this choose file button, when you click on this choose file button, you got a dialog here, guys. Okay, you got a dialog here, right? This dialog is not a browser based. It's not a browser, guys. It's a Windows. You generally get this kind of dialogues, right? When you try to save a file, you get this dialog in Windows. This doesn't belong to the browsers. Try to right click and inspect. You will not get any inspect options here. But if you inspect on this choose file button, you'll get inspect option. But if you try to right click anywhere on this dialog, you'll not get any inspect button because this is not a browser based. This is a window based dialog. This is a window based dialog. And Selenium, since Selenium cannot automate this window based dialog, okay, Selenium cannot automate this window based dialog. Up to click here, up to clicking this choose file button, Selenium can do. But after clicking, you will get this dialog. From there, you cannot automate anything on this browser. You can cannot either cancel, close, open. You cannot type anything, okay, using Selenium because this is a window based dialog. Close this. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate, guys. Till what extent we can automate that scenario. Okay, our task is to upload a file. Okay, our task is to click on this button and then upload a file and upload a file into this upload file dialog. So before that, I want to download some sample image. I'm just putting this image on the, okay, like this. I have to download like this. Manually, I'm showing, guys. I'll go to the application. I'll browse the application. After browsing, what I will do is I'll click on the choose file button. So in the choose file button, I will have to give the path of this one. For example, I will give the path of this one. Right click, properties. This is the path of the C user server desktop download.jpg is a file. Okay. So here I'll click on choose file and here I'll give /download.jpg. I will enter this one like this. And now I click on open. So at this location, this file is available. So if I click on open in this dialog, you see the file got uploaded. The file got, when you see this name like download.jpg because beside this choose file button, that means that the file got uploaded here. Okay, the file has uploaded here. This particular functionality, this particular scenario, I want to automate using Selenium. How can I do that? Create a new project first. Right click new project. I prefer creating the Maven projects, guys. Okay, so whatever it is, I will prefer creating the Maven projects because it makes our job easier. Click on finish. Maven project is getting created. It will take some time, guys. So let's wait for it to complete. So after this building workspace is completed, we'll open the Maven project. Yeah, it's done. Expand. Go to src test Java inside the QFX package. Delete this file, which has come by default. We'll create our own class anyhow. Right click on this, say new class. Name this class as demo class. I'll create a main method, public static void main. String of box. Inside this main method, I will write the automation code for performing these operations. The activity is that I need to open this application and then upload a file known as sample download.jpg, which is a sample JPG file on my desktop, right? I have to upload the file here. So what I have to do, guys, I will write something like this. Selenium code. WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver over the mouse on WebDriver. You will not be able to import because you have now not added the jar files, right? You have not added the jar files. So what I have to do, I will open the pom.xml file. Now in this, I will have to add the dependency tags for the Selenium jar files. Okay, dependency tags for Selenium in this pom.xml file. For that, I will open the browser and go to mvnrepository.com. I'll browse for Selenium Java. Click on the Selenium Java. This is the latest version. Sorry, go back. So some other version 3.141 got released. I'll go with one of the versions. I will better prefer 3.14 for now. I don't want to experiment. Copy this. Paste the dependency tags for that 3.14 here. Save it. Selenium jar files will get downloaded under the Maven dependencies automatically and configured automatically. Now go to demo.java and hover the mouse on WebDriver. Import the WebDriver and also import the Chrome driver. That's fine. Now guys, in order to execute our automation scripts on Chrome browser, we need to set up drivers, right? For Chrome driver, we need to set up. The traditional approach we used to do. We used to give the path of the Chrome driver.exe file, driver.exe file. But now, once as explained in one of the recent sessions regarding the WebDriver manager, if you remember, okay. So in that sessions, I explained WebDriver manager dot. You can directly set up the drivers, guys, without downloading the exe files using the WebDriver manager. So you'll not get anything here, guys. Because why? Because even WebDriver manager needs to be downloaded. Similar to Selenium, you have to download the WebDriver manager also. So go to here, search for WebDriver manager. Just search for WebDriver manager in Google. You'll get the first link from Boni Garcia. Okay, GitHub Boni Garcia. Open this link. Detailed page will be there. GitHub page will be there. Scroll down. Somewhere here, Java dependency. Just add this dependency tags. Okay, copy this dependency tags and paste into your pom.xml file so that WebDriver manager will be jar files related to the WebDriver manager will be downloaded and automatically configured in this project. So once the build workspace is done, still going on. Let's wait. Yeah, it's done. Now go to demo.java, hover the mouse on WebDriver manager, and observe that you will get the will be asked to import the WebDriver manager now. WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. This is a single line, guys. You don't have to download any exe file, Chrome driver.exe file, and provide the path of that exe file here. Simply, when you add the WebDriver manager library to this particular project, directly you can say WebDriver manager.Chrome driver.setup. You don't have to worry anything about after this. Okay. So now driver.manage. Same thing. Traditional steps like window.maximize. Then I will say driver.get. In this driver.get, I need to provide this URL. I need to provide this URL. Here I have to say, after going to this application, what I need to do, guys? What is the next task I need to do? I need to, after opening this application, I need to click on this choose file button. So let me inspect this choose file button. Right click inspect. It has an ID, guys. Upload file is ID value. Copy this ID. Here say driver dot find element by dot ID dot click. That's it. So what did I do so far? I opened this application URL and then I clicked on this choose file button. Now I got this dialog. What is the next task I need to do, guys? I need to type the path of this file in the file name and click on the open button. Okay, I need to type the path here and click on the open button. Let me inspect this file name. You see, I'm not getting an inspect option. Why? Because this is not a browser based, this is a window based. This cannot be automated or by Selenium. Selenium cannot go behind this, guys. So we are stuck. Okay, we are stuck, guys. We cannot move forward. Up to here it's fine, but from here we cannot take it forward because I cannot provide the path of this particular file, enter the path into this file name and click on this open button. That's not possible anyhow. Okay, so what we have to do in this case? So till here we are able to go, but after this we are not able to continue because this particular dialog that got displayed here is not a browser based dialog. There is a window based dialog which cannot be automated by Selenium at all. Now guys, to overcome this problem, so we just started with the problem, guys, that Selenium cannot automate that particular window-based dialog. So to overcome that problem, let's start to learn about AutoIT. Okay, let's start to learn AutoIT. The first scenario I'm going to explain here is how to upload a file using AutoIT. The same thing, same example. I'm going to upload a file using AutoIT. Okay, how can I take the help of the AutoIT in making this scenario complete? Is what the intention of my session. So let's upload a file using AutoIT by following the below steps. So first of all, guys, we have to download and install AutoIT in our machines. The first step in AutoIT is that we have to download and install the AutoIT. AutoIT is also another tool kind of thing, guys. It's a software. Okay, it's available for free. You don't have to pay any rupee. Okay, any money for that. It's free of cost. It's an open source tool which is free of cost. Simply you need to download and install it. So here is the URL. So simply search for, do one thing, just go to Google or something, AutoIT download. Simply say AutoIT download. You'll get this option, guys, AutoIT downloads AutoIT section. Okay, just click on this one. Okay, you are taken to autoitscript.com, some downloads page. Don't worry about that. So here over the mouse on AutoIT menu and click on this downloads option. Same page. Scroll down a bit. Scroll down. Here you see in the software and download table, you can see a option to download AutoIT, right? Just click on this option, guys. Download AutoIT option. Click on this option. You see AutoIT V3 version 3 is the version 3 of AutoIT. Latest version is V3 of AutoIT. It is getting downloaded. Setup.exe. So once it got downloaded, just go to the downloads folder where it got downloaded. It's still downloading, guys. Let's wait for it to complete the download. Save file. Just downloading in a different browser, guys. Somehow it in Chrome browser it got stuck. Okay, it got downloaded here, you see. Okay, this one didn't get downloaded. Let's not worry about that. In Chrome browser, I didn't get downloaded properly, so I downloaded it from the Firefox browser and it got downloaded like this. Okay, say from same URL. Simply install it. Double click on this exe file. AutoIT v3 setup.exe file. Just simply double click on that. A pop-up came asking me to allow this app on my machine. I click on this. I clicked on this. So installation wizard has appeared for AutoIT. Click on next. Agree to the license agreement. Here use native. You want 64-bit or 32-bit? It is asking you simply. I will prefer 32-bit anyhow. Click on next. Here defaults for .au3. Okay, run the script or edit the script. Select edit the script, guys. Okay, select edit the script and click on next. Again, click on next without changing anything. Click on install. AutoIT is getting installed in our machine. Okay. I don't want to see any release notes, so click on finish. Fine. AutoIT got installed in my machine. Where exactly it got installed? I'll tell you. Search for AutoIT. You see, you got this option. AutoIT Windows info option you came, you got. At the same time, in your C drive, the program files of 32-bit, you will see this folder. Okay, AutoIT 3 folder. So this should be there. If you have successfully installed AutoIT, all these things should be there. Fine. Now, so let's go to one program files, AutoIT 3 site folder and find the site application. So how to learn the AutoIT? How to open the AutoIT? How to learn the, for example, if I have used Eclipse, I clicked on this icon so that Eclipse ID got opened here, right? Similarly, any application you want to open, you have to open it, right? So for that, guys, the procedure is like this. You have to go to your C drive and program files of 32-bit and AutoIT folder, which got installed after installing the AutoIT, which got created after installing the AutoIT. Just open this folder, guys. In this, you will see a folder name known as site. Open this site folder and you will see an application known as site application, SCITE. Open this site application. This is the application, guys. Okay, where you can, it's also like an editor, right? Editor. Okay, where you can write the programs, scripts, AutoIT scripts you can write here. Okay, you can write the AutoIT scripts in this IDE or editor. Okay, so but guys, so let's say I'll close this one. Again, if I have to open the site application, how to open that? Again, I need to go to the C drive, program files. Again, I have to go to AutoIT folder, again site folder, and again I need to click on the site up. Then only I will get this thing appeared on my. Then only I can open this application, guys. Okay, I have to open the site light application every time. So I have to every time go to this path and open this. This is a tedious process for me. So what I will do is I'll right click on this. Okay, and you will get both of the options like pin to start menu and pin to taskbar. Okay, so some cases, guys, you will not get this pin to taskbar. Only you may get pin to start. So what you have to do in this case that where you will not get pin to taskbar. So in that case, guys, you need to first say pin to start. Pin to start. When you pin to the start, the start options, you will see this option here. Okay. In the start options, the site application got added here. Right click on this. Now say more pin to taskbar. You see, to the taskbar also it got added. I'll unpin this one so that the space will be clear. Okay. So this is how, guys, I don't now since or else if you directly get this option like pin to taskbar, okay, if you directly get this option like pin to taskbar, directly add it to the taskbar, guys. There is no issue. Okay, in case if you don't get this pin to taskbar on that right click option, then you have to first add it to start menu, and then from there you can add it to the pin taskbar. Okay, anything is fine. Close it. Now, guys, I don't have to go to this particular location every time when I want to launch the site application, right? I don't have to launch it every time. Simply, what I can do is I can click here. Simply, I can click here and it will open. From the taskbar itself, I can open, right? Let's keep it open for some time. Now, let's follow the below steps for understanding the usage of predefined methods in AutoIT. So far, we have downloaded the AutoIT and installed the AutoIT, and I have shown you how to launch the site application in that AutoIT, right? How to launch site application of AutoIT also, site application editor of AutoIT also I showed till here. Now, this part, I'm going to use some predefined methods in AutoIT. Every language has a predefined method. For example, in Java, we have system.out.println and all those stuff. Okay, there are a lot of things, a lot of predefined methods in Java, right? A lot of Java has its own library of methods using which you can program like anything, right? Similarly, every program has its own. Similarly, AutoIT tool also has its own predefined methods. So which you can write, you can use them in the scriptlight. From where you can understand, you can know these predefined methods, from where you can know these predefined methods. So first of all, guys, what I will do is I will close this AutoIT. Again, I will open this script editor in this scriptlight editor of AutoIT. I'll open this. Now I'll try to click on save. I'll try to click on save. So where you want to save this file, where you want to save this file. So for the future needs, what I will do is I will go to my D drive. I will create a folder, guys. Auto folder. I'll name this folder as auto folder. Open this folder, and in this folder, in this auto folder in my D drive, I am saving this first file. Okay, I will say functions or methods demo. Okay, functions or methods demo, and I need to save this file. This is a SiteLight editor file, so I'll save it as a auto3 file. Okay, in this we are going to write the AutoIT scripts, and it should be saved in the format of AutoIT AU3 format, guys. And the name of the file is functions demo. I gave save it. I saved it. So you can go to that location and see the file has been saved or not. Okay. There's nothing, no script available at present. I have saved an empty AutoI3 file. In the D drive auto folder I have saved this AutoI3 with this script file. Okay. With the name functions demo. So it's already opened here. Functions demo.au3, which is available in the auto folder. Okay. Now guys, I'm going to demonstrate few functions of the auto IT. Fine. So what you have to do here is simply every tool has some help, right? Just go to the help of this SEI and click on help. It will open some help documentation. Here you can see some contents. So here GUI reference is there. Lot of things are there. Functions reference, GUI reference. Lot of things are there here. So have to go to this location where contains functions reference. In functions reference, message boxes and dialogues have to say. Okay. So I need to go to this help doc like this. I need to go to help doc like this. Help. From here, contents. Then function reference. Here you can see an option under functions reference. You are seeing some options. Message boxes and dialogues. Okay. Just expand that. There are different type of message boxes. So message box, input box, message box, progress of, in that go with the message box. So this is the help documentation of message box for AutoIT, right? A lot of things are there here in this. A lot of documentation is there on the top of this message box, and this is a syntax for the script. Okay, this is a script, guys. It speaks message box in the brackets. Some flag is there. Some title is there. some text is there. After that, this is optional, guys. It is in the square bracket. From here to here is the optional thing. These are the mandatory fields that you have to provide, and this is a, if you don't give also not a problem. Okay. So guys, this message box is not really useful for us. For as part of Selenium, you don't have to learn this message box thing. Okay. But in order to explain what are the different predefined methods that AutoIT has, I'm just taking up this single example. This particular message box we are never going to use in our Selenium automation scripts. Okay, this is just for the for you. This is just for helping you out of understanding what exactly AutoIT is. How can you write some script in AutoIT? Okay, that's it. But you are never going to use this particular syntax for Selenium purpose. Fine. Let's go to the AutoIT script. Let's start writing something. Here you see, start typing. Here we have something known as MSG box, right? Just start writing capital M S G. You already got this MSG box here. Click on that MSG box. Now open the bracket. When you open the bracket, it will suggest you the syntax, remaining syntax, that is flag, title, text, and optional thing. So here flag should be there. Here title should be there. Here text should be there. 3 items, right? So what actually the flag is? The parameters they are explaining the flag. The flag indicates the type of the message box and the possible button combination. See remarks. Just go down. Here under the remarks table, they are saying that these are the options you can give in the flag. 0 to, lot of things are there. 0 to some different number, right? What if you provide 0? You will only see a dialog button with OK button on the dialog message box. And OK and cancel. If you want to see OK and cancel, you have to give 1. And if you want to see about, retry, ignore, you have to give 2. So like this, many options are there from 0 to 6. So first I will give 0 as flag. Only OK button will be there. Then what should be the syntax, guys? Then syntax is title and text. After that, you have to give the title of the box. On the dialog box. So what I'm going to build here is, guys, I'm going to, using the AutoIT script, I'm going to build this code. Okay. I'm going to build this kind of thing. Some dialog box. It is having some OK button on it, and with the title as Firefox, and here the description should be there. The easiest tutorial site on software testing. Okay, the easiest tutorial site. This kind of dialog I wanted to build with the help of this script. The script that you are writing will result in this dialog, guys. Okay, it will result in creating this kind of dialog. So AutoIT is capable enough to do that. So I gave the title as QFox, comma. I need to give the text message that I want to display on the dialog. So for that, I will say double quote, the easiest tutorial site on software testing. Done. I wrote the script, right? That's it, guys. You don't have to save it. Save this single step. And now go to the tools menu and click on go. Immediately when you click on go, did you say anything? I got a message box, guys. I already got a message box generated by this SiteLight application. Okay, AutoIT, generated by AutoIT, which is having the title as QFox, and also it has a message text, the easiest tutorial site on software testing. Since I mentioned the flag as 0 here, I got the OK button. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll change this 0 to 1. Or else I will keep it 0 here and will copy paste this, and here I will change the flag to 1. Now save it. Now tools, go. First you will get the first line, that is still 0 flag is there. It's QFox title, and the easiest site tutorial site on software testing has come with a OK button. After you close or press OK, you got another dialog for the second line. This is about the second line where the flag is set to 1. Since the flag is set to 1, you got 2 buttons here, OK and cancel button. Again, the title is QFox and the text is easiest tutorial site on software testing. That's fine. Like that, guys. In this documentation, if you see, there are different flags here. You can experiment each and every tag, every flag. So let's try to go up to 6, guys. Okay, let's try up to 6. Copy this one, paste it 4 more times, and change this to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So save it. Now tools, go. First you will get 0 flag, that is OK button. Then you got flag 1, OK and cancel button. Then you got about, retry and ignore for flag 2. After that, flag 3, you got yes, no and cancel button. Flag 4, yes and no. Flag 5, retry, cancel. Flag 6, cancel, try again, continue. Like that, guys. The type of the flag you are giving, the type of the dialog you are getting, right? You don't need all these things. Simply I'll keep it up to two dialogues. Okay, message box 0 and 1. Okay, that's fine. So what are this message box? Message box is a predefined function of AutoIT. Similarly, AutoIT has a lot of things, guys. It's only message box we are seeing. So if you go to any other things, we have a lot of things like file directory, a lot of things are there. And here you see GUI management or mouse management, mouse click related functions are there here. Okay, don't know how to use. This is a predefined method, another predefined method. Okay, similar to message box. We don't have to learn all this stuff, guys. It's not required for us. It's a separate entity again. Okay, you don't have to learn complete AutoIT. What you have to learn as part of AutoIT, I'm going to explain anyhow. Okay, this is not what is required. Okay, now guys. So, but let's understand how to use AutoIT, how to write scripts into the AutoIT with the help of these functions. Though we are not going to use this predefined methods in our Selenium, this will, but now we are understanding how to use this help documentation and use the predefined methods of AutoIT in creating the scripts and automation scripts in AutoIT, right? So this is one of the example I took as message box, and whenever I create this kind of message box, I am seeing some messages. And I execute this script, I am seeing some messages here, right? They are creating some message boxes. Fine. Now guys, let's understand few more concepts. So this thing is done. So how to use the predefined methods in AutoIT is done now. Okay. So how to use the predefined methods in AutoIT is done as part of this part. Now next step is we have to understand how to use variables in AutoIT. Now we have used how to use. Two things are important in programming, right? One is variables and another one is methods. Variables and methods, right? Variables and methods are important in programming. So first of all, I explained how to use methods in AutoIT. Now I'm going to explain how to use variables in AutoIT. Okay, how to use variables in AutoIT. What is the purpose of variables, guys? The purpose of the variables is to store some data and reuse those variables any number of times across the program so that the same data can be used across the program, right? Once the data is stored into the variables, you can use that variables any number of times till the end of the program. That's what is the purpose of the variables. Variable can store the data and help us in using that particular data across the program just by using the variable name. Same variables which are there in the other programming languages. Even AutoIT has the same functionality, but syntax is different. Syntax is quite different. Okay. So in the above program, this particular program, I am going to replace this particular text and this particular text. I'm going to store this data into the variables case. Okay, I don't want to directly use this raw data into the methods. Instead, I want to first create some variables and use the variables. Here you have two message boxes, right? Here you have two message boxes. You don't have to again type QFox every time, right? If you use variables, if you store this particular thing into the variable and reuse that variable here and there, that will be very easy for us, right? So let me say this is a syntax, guys. You have to say dollar. I will say anything you can give. You can say title. Okay, title of box. Or else you can simply say title is equal to dollar title. You have to start with dollar title is equal to, cut this from here, paste it here. That's it. Okay. Now, since you already created a variable and assigned this QFox, you don't need this QFox here, guys. Directly you can say dollar title. Paste this dollar title in the wherever you want to use QFox. You just say title. Okay, like this. This is a variable name, guys. This is a variable name. Dollar title is a variable name, and QFox is its value, which you got stored into the dollar title. You can reuse that. Now here, another thing is dollar text on message box. Okay, text to be displayed on the message box. That is nothing but this one. Copy this, paste it here. So from now onwards, you don't have to type the complete lengthy text here into the whatever wherever that message is required. Simply say variable name. Okay, these are the variables, and we have used the variables. We are trying to print the variable names here. Okay, we are trying to use the variable names here. So these messages will be displayed on the message box anyhow. So I just modified a program a bit where earlier in the earlier program there were no variables. Now in this program I converted some text into the variables. I stored some text into the variables and reused the variables here and there. Right now, let's see whether now let's run this code in AutoIT. Run this AutoIT script in AutoIT, and let's see whether we are getting the same output or not. Save it and say tools, go. You see, you got the same dialog, guys. Flag 0, you got this dialog. Okay, QFox easiest tutorial site on software test. Second thing, second dialog, message box flag 1. Okay, and cancel button will come there. Title is QFox, and text on message box is easiest tutorial site on software testing. Okay, this is how, guys. This is how you can variables. You can create the variables in the AutoIT script. This is also done. Now the third one. Now what is that? So we had have shown you how to use the variables, guys. Okay, and what is the purpose of the variables. I explained everything as part of this. I explained how to how to use the variables in the AutoIT, how to create the variables in AutoIT and reuse them. Right now, up to here it is fine. Up to here it is fine. So here till now we have downloaded and installed the AutoIT. Then we have launched the SCIT application, site application, where we have written some AutoIT script, where I demonstrated how to use the predefined methods in AutoIT, and afterwards I explained how to create variables in AutoIT. Till that we are able to do with the help something with the help of the AutoIT only. But now, guys, the time has come where I have to integrate Selenium with AutoIT. Whatever the script we have written is independent, guys. I have independently used it. But if I have to use this in combination of Selenium, what I have to do? Let's say I have to use AutoIT with Selenium. Then what I have to do? So this is the thing I'm going to explain now, guys. How to integrate AutoIT script with Selenium or Java programs. Okay, Selenium plus Java programs or Selenium programs or Java programs, anything is fine. Okay, how to integrate AutoIT code with Java programs or Selenium Java programs. So how to invoke this AutoIT code from Java programs is that I'm going to explain now. So we'll create a new class. For now, we'll keep it aside because, okay, let me create a new class, that is class demo2, let's say. Again, in this also I'll say public static void main. This is a Java code, guys. This is a Java code which is there in my Eclipse IDE. And from this Java code, I have to invoke the AutoIT script. How to do that? I have to explain how to use the AutoIT script here. So here I want to execute the AutoIT script. Okay, here I want in this Java program I want to execute the AutoIT script. So what is the process? What is the process? How can I merge AutoIT script with this Java programs and make this possible? Here is the thing. Okay. Now, guys, so to take this script outside, till now we are just using the script here inside the SELite application. Okay, SEIT application, SEIT SiteLite application, we are using that. But if I have to execute the script from Java programs, from Eclipse Java programs, so I have to take this outside. First, I need to save this, guys. Where this file got saved? In the auto folder, functionsdemo.au3. Just go to that folder location. So in the D drive auto folder, I have saved this function demo. If I open this function demo, you can see that this script is already written, right? This script is already available in the site application. So guys, now this is a AutoIT v3 script, guys. So this script I need to compile. Okay, in order to use in Java programs, I need to right click on this file and say compile with 32-bit. This is 30-bit software I have installed, guys. So I will compile script with 32-bit only. Compile script x86. When I compile this functionsdemo.autoit3 script, AU3 functionsdemo.au3 script, it will generate an application exe file. Okay, after compiling, it will generate an exe file, guys. This is an exe file. Right click on this functions demo which got just now generated. When I compile, as a result of the compilation, you'll get this exe file, guys, which is functionsdemo.exe file. So this exe file you need to execute. Okay, so I will do one thing. In the same project, I will create a new folder known as AutoIT code. Finish. So I will copy this exe file, compiled and generated exe file, into this AutoIT code folder. So I compiled functions demo.exe file, which is a resultant of the compilation of the AU3 file of functions demo, got copied and pasted here. Now guys, I'm going to do something here. So first of all, I'll say string AutoIT file path is equal to string AutoIT file path is equal to, I have to give the path of this functions demo.exe file. Okay, this functions demo.exe file is available in my project, right? So there are two ways. You have string system dot get property of user dot dir. This is nothing but the path of the project, guys. Okay, this will get the path of the project. I will append to this particular path. I will append the path of this AutoIT code /functions demo. What is that name? .exe. That's it. This is the complete path, guys. This is the workspace path plus path to the functions demo in the project. Demo.exe in the project. This is the path. Now, in order to invoke this script, functions demo.exe script, there is some predefined class in Java. This belongs to Java, guys. In order to execute this functions demo.exe, in order to execute the exe files, we have a predefined class in Java known as runtime. It's part of the Java library, guys. Runtime dot get runtime is one of the methods of the runtime class. Get runtime dot exe give this. In this, you need to give the AutoIT file path. That's it. This is a syntax, guys. Runtime dot get runtime dot exe. In this, you need to pass the path of this exe file, which got compiled and generated from the AU3 file, AU3 script file, right? So here we are getting an error. Hover the mouse and say add throws declaration. That's it. Okay, it will be resolved. Runtime dot get runtime dot exe. In that, you need to provide the path of the exe file, which got compiled and auto generated from the script, AutoIT script. So this will invoke the AutoIT script, guys. This particular statement will invoke the AutoIT script from the Java programs. This is a connector. So from Java, we'll use this particular statement to invoke the AutoIT script. So the connection between the Java and AutoIT is now set with the help of this statement, runtime.get runtime.exe of file path, right? Now run this program, right click, run as Java application. From Java, From Java, you got this dialog, guys. You didn't get this dialog in the SiteLite application, right? Instead, you got this dialog in the Eclipse IDE where your Java program. When you run this Java program, you got this dialog because this runtime.getRuntime.exe has executed this functions demo.exe and has resulted in displaying this dialog. So QFox is easiest site. Okay. Again, the second dialog will come because the script has two dialogs. It's flag 0 and flag 1 as mentioned. So you got these two dialogs. That's it, guys. This is how you can invoke the AutoI3 scripts from the Java programs. Okay. That's done. Now, guys, the next one. Next one is okay. Find Java program. Okay. This particular up to here we are done, guys. Up to here we have done. Okay. I've used runtime.getRuntime.exe and auto8exe file path for invoking the auto8 script from the Java programs as explained so far. Now, so next thing, guys. So, guys, for example, if I run this program, right click run as Java application, I'm getting this dialog. Every time I'm getting the same thing, guys. QFox easiest tutorial site on software testing, QFox tutorial site on software testing I'm getting. But in future, guys, if I want to display some other title here, okay, instead of QFox, I want to display some QFox.com, okay, and the easiest site on software testing is there, okay. So instead of this text, I want to display easiest tutorials on software testing is QFox I want to display, okay. So how to change that? Can I change from the Java program? Can I change that particular things from the Java program? No, guys, it's not in the Java program's hand. So again, you have to go to AutoIT. Okay, open this functions demo.eu3 file. You can directly open, or you can go to the folder location and open this functions demo.eu3. And here you need to update it. If you want to display title as qfox.com, you have to update here. Again, if you want to display qfox.com, you have to say like this. Okay, is qfox.com. Again, you have to save it, close it, remove the older exe file. Now from here also remove this older demo.exe file. So now we have the new script here. I just modified the script by changing the title and the text on message box. Now again I need to right click and say compile script. Some error is there. Right click, compile script. Okay, open this one. Some issue. I'll change it to QFox 99. Here also QFox 99. Save it. Right click, compile. Something is being stopped. What is that? So we are getting an error, guys. When I right click on this functions demo, that auto i3 script, and try to click on this try to select this run script with compile script x86. So this time it's not coming. So but guys, if you keep on getting this, there is a solution for that. I will let you know. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's open this functions demo and let's modify this. So let's modify it to something. Save it, delete the older one, try to compile it again. You're getting some error, guys, and here also some this error you are getting because of my antivirus, guys. Okay, you may also get this such kind of errors because of your antivirus. In my machine there is Windows Defender antivirus which came by default in the Windows operating system. Okay, which this particular antivirus came by default in my Windows operating system. Okay, so what I will do is I'll click on this, or I will open this. I'll open the antivirus in my machine. In my machine, scroll down. So just go to the thread Windows this option. In my antivirus, this is the thing, guys. In your antivirus, you have to R&D and then find out the settings. Virus and threat protection settings. I have to go to that. And here is something known as exclusions. In the exclusions, add exclusion. We are trying to compile this file and generate an exe file, guys. That's where it's not allowing you. And my antivirus is treating that particular process as a virus activity. But this is not a virus activity, guys. It's kind of very safe and secure. Okay. So to stop that for a period of time, I will click on the add exclusion and say file, not file, sorry, file type. File type in the extension you have to say .exe. Okay, you have to add exclusion file type and add the exe. Okay, click on S. Ext file type will be allowed from now onwards. Now, guys, this error is there, right? I'll close the error. Okay, I'll open something. I'll modify this back to .com, something like that. Okay. This time, let's see whether the error is still coming or not. Okay, save it. Save this. Right click on this and compile script using 32-bit. You see, it is getting created, guys. No matter how many times you change, it will get created now because I modified the settings in my antivirus program, which is now currently allowing me to compile the scripts and generate the exe files for that. Fine. So the problem was with my antivirus, so I have to change my antivirus settings and get this done. Okay. Most of your machines you may not get this problem, guys. Only in my machine I got the problem. If in case you get this kind of problem in your machine, you have to simply add the .exe file as exclusion for in your antivirus, in any of your antivirus. Okay. So fine, guys. So my Eclipse ID got closed. I will open it again. I modified the functions demo auto-i3 scripts, guys. I just modified it to QFox from title. I changed it from QFox to QFox.com, and also the text that is getting displayed on the message box, I modified it from this particular text to is QFox.com. The easiest tutorial site on software testing is QFox.com. I just modified these two things, and after modifying, I compiled it. I generated a new exe file. Okay. In my Eclipse IDE, I have deleted the older functions demo.exe already, right? So I will paste this newly generated exe file in that place of the older one. Still opening. Let's wait for my Eclipse IDE to open. Yeah. So here is the auto ID code folder. So in this, I need to paste my newly generated functions demo.exe file. We just compile the steps and paste it here. Fine. Now it has a path, same path, right? Auto ID folder path and function. Only thing is that every time I need to display a different title or different text on the message box, I need to modify this functions demo.exe file. I need to regenerate this functions demo.exe file every time. I'm not updating the title and not updating the text on the message box from this program, guys. Rather, I have to go to the auto-i3 scripts and then modify it and update it. That's a problem. That's a problem, right? This kind of very big process. So I have to go to auto-i3 scripts, modify them, then compile again, paste it here, then run it here. All those things are a very big process for me. So I will quickly tell you a solution after this. After executing, you'll see the difference. Right click run as Java application. Now you will see QFox.com. Title got changed, and also the message on that particular message box got changed. Right? That's fine. But still, guys, there's a problem here because again, if I want to change the title and the message on the message box, Again, I need to go to the auto i3 scripts. Again, I need to revisit the auto i3 script. Again, I need to change the title. Again, I need to save. Again, I need to compile this. Again, I need to, after compiling, again, I need to delete this particular functions demo.exe and replace that with this newly generated functions demo.exe. This is a very big process. Instead of that, instead of this thing to be done every time, what I wanted to do is I want to provide the title and I want to provide the title and the message that need to be displayed on the message box from this Java program, something like this. String title is equal to, give some title guys. For example, www.qfox.com. I'm just modifying it a bit. I just added www. Before this qfox. So this is one thing. And message string message is equal to qfox.com. Just modifying a bit. Is an easiest tutorial site on software testing. Okay, the nearest tutorial site on software testing. I just modified the sentence also. If you can see, this is a new title and this is a new message. I want this new message to be displayed on the dialog. In that case, guys, what I will do here is I need to create one more command, string cmd. Okay. So before that, I need to change something a bit. Okay, I need to change something that is auto i3 script only. I need to modify this auto i3 script. Open this. Here I am not, I don't want to provide this value guys. From the script, I don't want to provide the value. This particular title should be passed from the Java program. So I remove this. Okay, I will remove the title from here. Instead, this particular title will be passed to this variable. So for that guys, we have a command known as $cmd line 1. Okay, first command line argument. And this one also I don't want to pass from here. I want to remove from here. I want this message on text on this message box to be passed from this variable. That is message variable from here. This one need to be passed to this particular variable. In that case, I have to say $cmd line 2. $cmd line 2. So I'm passing two command line things, but still I didn't connect these command lines with this program. Before that, what I will do here is I will save it now. I'm not passing title here. I am not passing the message on the message box here. Okay. I'll save it. Delete the older exe file. Right click on this auto i3 scripts and compile script. I'll get this generated. Delete the older functions demo.exe from the Eclipse IDE. Now copy this functions demo.exe and paste into this auto IT code. Now the path of the auto IT file path is system.getProperty of user.directory auto IT code functions demo.exe. Okay, functions demo.exe. This is the path, and title is this one, and message is this one. Apart from this, I need to add one more line, that is string array of cmd, and I need to say the brackets. I need to provide first. I need to provide the auto IT file path, comma. First command line argument I need to provide, that is title, and then the second command line argument, that is the third thing. Okay, done. Two, this is command line 1, this is command line 2 guys. Okay, now guys, remove this .exec. This time go with this string array guys. Okay, string array. Here I need to pass cmd. This cmd I need to pass it here. Okay, so instead of passing a single string path, I am passing a string array of elements I am passing. The first one will be considered as the auto IT file path, that is this functions demo.exe. Second one will be considered as a title. Third one, second one will be considered as a title, that is command line 1. Third one is command line 2. So this one will be passed to, this title will be passed to this command line 1. Okay, here title will be passed to the command line 1, and this message will be passed to the command line 2, and it will be assigned here and it will be printed here. Okay, displayed on the message box. It's kind of simple, guys. Instead of passing only the auto ID file path for this exe method, I am passing instead of only providing the auto ID file path in this exe command, I am passing the string array which is having auto ID file path followed by command line 1 and command line 2. So with these details, guys, this exe file will be executed and in that title will be passed and message will be passed from my Java program only. Okay, now let me run this. This time you will see it's very easy, guys, for us now. You see, now you are getting www.qafox.com. qafox.com is an easiest tutorial site on software testing. Same thing will be followed here. Now, guys, if again, if I want to give a different title, do I need to go to auto script and modify it? No, not required. Okay, I'll remove this www and qafox.com. Only I will keep qafox. Okay, here also I will say the easiest tutorial site on software testing, like this. I just modified the title and message a bit, and if I run it, this new title line, new message should be displayed on the message box directly. You don't have to modify the auto i3 script every time. Okay, simply in Java program you can modify. You see, now the title got changed and the message on the message box got changed. So this is how, guys, you can provide the command line arguments and avoid going to the auto i3 script modification every time. Instead, you can just provide these things from the Java program itself. You don't have to hard code in the auto i3 scripts. Rather, you can just provide in the form of this and then pass this as a command line 1, command line 2. If you want to pass many arguments, you can pass, guys. There is no end to these arguments. Okay, second one will be the command line 1, third one will be the command line 2. Like that, you can add as many number of command line arguments as you want, and you can use them in the functions demo as required. The auto i3 script as required, those parameters. Fine. So I explained about the command line, how to use command line I explained, and the advantages I explained. This is also done. This section is done, guys. We'll take this in the next session, guys. This is the first part of auto IT. This is the first part of auto IT. I will take up this. I will be showing how to upload a file using auto IT code. Okay, and also I will be showing how to download a file using auto IT. These two examples I will be demonstrating as part of the next session. So far, these are the basics of auto IT. How to program in auto IT. These are the basics. So that's it for today's session. We'll continue in the next session. See you guys. Bye.